What's going on, guys? Time for another YouTube recap. So on the X, we were hoping for some beautiful fills. Now, we had a really good watch setup here over, of course, jobs data and PPI. So I was looking for long over both 50 fibs. Keywords are right here. Long over, which means if there's not trend over or long over, it's obviously not a long. So we're looking for either down or up, right? So we generally draw sentiment, right? Above or below. And that's what I like to do. So anything bullish above 558 and some change, we're looking for SPY to push up to 56125. There's a long target ES on a 1 minute gap, which we are going to go over right now. And then if we did go under that sentiment, it was going to be more bearish. So we did not get that target, but we did end up with a few decent P&L. Should have been like 8-9 grand. Overall about 3,100 on the Topsteps accounts. Okay, no big deal, right? So moving into the old trades. Now, why did we think everything was going to scooch up here, right? Well, on the 1 minute chart, we have this massive chunky boy gap, okay? Right here. 56.12, 56.12.25. That's where we got that target. It is paired as in it is replicated, duplicated, whatever you want to say, on the NQ as well as the ES. So we had a gap in pretty much the same spot here, my friends. So we were very adamant on paired gap fills, in which I usually am, and these algos are very good. Now, one thing we know for sure is your technical analysis is nothing compared to a Trump tweet. So all morning we seen the Trumpster on the horn, dude, all over snow Mexico, all over Mexico, the Russia war news. We just had all sorts of stuff. Order filled. The hell did we fill? Oh, that's right. We're short and yes. So again, another trade plan right here. Just going shnikes. Where's my other screen? I have no, sorry. I have ADD. Yeah, quick little 200 filler out of the gate there. 800 bucks there. Where's my other one? Oh, there it is. That is not it. God, I'm so blind. There it is. And this is the other one right here. So the other one's filled. These are just about filled. Those are probably filled, actually. I don't even know why the limit order is set so low. I'm not going to pay attention to these. We're going to do the video. So 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 1,000. So 2 grand right there between the two accounts. Groupings, 206 times 5, 212 times 5. Okay. Woo. Okay. 2 grand. Now back to the vid. So the 1 minute gaps were paired. Okay. And sorry if I lost my spot here. I have hyper ADHD, weaponized autism. We got it all. And I have never seen paired gaps have a really challenging fill, which means when they're marked up in the same exact area, more often than not, and very rarely, and that's today, this is the first time ever, which is fine being wrong. Being wrong, we're wrong all the time in the market. We have to learn something from that experience. So oddly enough, the 56.12, that big gap that's left open here, man, this is a first time for me. That's a full tick. So 0.25, full tick on ES. I've never seen this wide of a gap paired. So again, at the same spot as NQ, not fill. So that's insane. So let's get into some of the other trades and sentiment in which we've had. Okay. So that was the full trade target off the X. And of course, like we said, it's long over. So let's get into it here. Oh, Apple's being junk. You got to wiggle the column, then double click. Hey, there we go. So the whole bias set was overlapped fibs here in the gold. And as my note said, as you've seen in the picture, it says long if over gold zone. Now, the gold zone got pushed into at open, and man, did she chop. This is that 5,600 on ES rejection here, even the higher high. But again, we never got a close over the golden pocket of data, right? So this is the data. We got jobs and PPI was a nothing sandwich again, because again, even news algorithms are nothing to some Trump tweets this morning here. So all over, right? So the chop 5,600 didn't break out. We didn't get our 56.12 target because we got stuffed at the GP, and it wanted really bad to break out here. Even these equal lows here that were paired up with the high low of the 5 minute, right? Data, and it gives us this golden pocket, right? And on the 1 minute chart, we were just looking for a quick scalp out of the gate, hit that target, and whatever happens, happens, okay? Now, yesterday's GP was also on the gold levels, and we always want to or always want to utilize that high low to find those golds. So the prior day is something that we use all the time, right? Excuse me. So it's not on this chart. We'll draw it real quick. High low of the gold fib. per the usual. Like to make these gold. All right, so this is where we got the gold overlap, okay? So you see these two 50s? One of those 50s is from the pre-market PPI jobs. The other 50 is obviously from the high-low daily we just made. And what do we know about golden pocket tags? We need to tag one part of the golden pocket more often than not at the open for the new day. So if we take yesterday's high-low from Fibonacci and move it over to today, we look for the GP. And the golden pocket was pretty wide. It was 61.8 here all the way down to... Oh, let's zoom in here. I can't even see. It's double overlapped with the jobs. Let's delete the jobs thing here. There we go. Zoop. Oh, we had two of them. That's why it's so messy. 57731 to 55953. So this is yesterday's GP, okay? Now notice first tag we opened up right inside the GP and it just perfectly paired highs, lows in the chop at the golden pocket. And we never got broken out through the beautiful gold zone. And that was that note. Unfortunately, we said long above. And if the price action is not above, we're obviously not going to get the target. So we got a couple scalps in between. So now, with the trend here and what we would have done with the rest of the data, right? The rest of the day, rather, we were long over. And I was pretty adamant on just watching yesterday's lows. And no matter what, we were going to take a peek at it. This freaking thing. Remove price. There we go. So this is yesterday's lows, blue dashed line and the gold over under that we just did, right? So I was pretty adamant on just watching after we locked down a little bit of profit here. And I wanted to see it kind of collectively, I don't know, just fly back up to the targets, you know, like it did right here to the higher high. I wanted to see something into yesterday's lows hold and continue the higher high structure on the daily, okay? So we had this low 2 days back. We had the higher low yesterday. And then, of course, we did not hold that higher low today. Okay, fine. Well, at least we rejected the GP and continued down. Now, the intraday here gave us a couple different signals. And again, we usually play the over-unders and long above trend GP. That's what we're looking for here. We had a bunch of different trade plans. Buy above the 10-minute 10 SMA 1-minute trend here. This was a long that we had taken early today. So another note intraday, we'll give you one example before we dive into the daily, is the 10 SMA recovery, right? So we came into a very strong support. We charted, came down, hit, right? Popped up back over that 100 fib, and we said buy above the 10 SMA 1-minute trend all the way back up to GP. So this is where we made a lot of that money. We're up like 6,800, close to $7,000, and then we took a couple long reversal attempts, and it cut us back down to about $3,000 green, which is fine. But yeah, we had just long targets, and of course must hold or no longs today. And we made this note way early. Of course, I'd done streaming at 10, so all these were drawn way back here about 10:30. So as we're coming into this trend though, we did say, you know, must hold or no long stay. Okay, well, what else did we say about the long term, right? What else did we say about the long term? It was the 9/11 candle, was it not? Right? This big boy right here. So remember, let's make this thing like a pink so we can see it. We are very adamant in the last like 7-8 days talking about over under at two different spots, 55544, and then coming down to the GP of this bad mamma jamma 911 right here. Okay. So we came down into that 2 day because remember, we had spots here. We're going to delete this big thing. The GP of that 911 candle can only be hit when 55540 is broken. Well, if you look at the last 2 days of trading, not today, we dipped into it, held, dipped into it, held. So we had a very adamant over under saying, okay, well, if that 911 holds, we're still looking for that temporary bounce back up to back test the 10 SMA, 100 EMA. And Lord knows we have a lot of 1 minute gaps up here that need to be filled. And now we made more 1 minute gaps on the futures even above us that also need to be filled. So when this does bounce, we're just going to have an exciting long. It's going to be the best swing ever, man. When this thing bounces, it's going to be great. But as we know, our technical analysis, fibs, algos, doesn't matter what it is nothing to the Trumpster. So his Trump tweets will always take precedent, and he was flooring it on tariffs, retaliation, the alcohol thing with Canada. He was all over the place. So, of course, forcing the market down. Fine, no big deal. We had two target longs. If it would have held 555 for a temporary bounce, as we've been saying for about 6 videos now, fine, we'll play it. Over, under, right? If it starts to trend down, go to the GP. That's the short target. We talked about it 3 weeks ago live too for 550 long-term short target, right? So it's not like we are like too outside of the pace. We were just really hoping that the higher low would finally hold on the pink level today, right? Which it tried. It tried its hardest. Look at these algos very close because we were correct. It just did not hold, right? So check this out. Low, and that's underneath the pink. Higher low, underneath the pink. Now look at today's low, the first one. That is a higher low from yesterday's lows. And then it made a higher high. So the algos were trying its day. Like they were the perfect TA algos right here until Trump was on the horn. We even went for, we got a higher high on day even. And then shrammo. Okay, no big deal. So over under the 55540 netted us. And again, no longs today. Almost the GP. Almost. So what does that mean? What's the prediction? What do we do? Well, the same thing we do every day. We're going to take the fibs. We're going to high low them, and we're going to remember that this, well, let's make sure 911 is 100% fibbed out correctly. That's not it. That's not it. We're on the weekly. That looks ridiculous. There we go. I want to make sure this is dead on, okay? It's actually dead on down there. Okay. That means we shy the GP if we don't take it. So shy. Now, 549.52, obviously shy. So what does that mean? What do we do with all this information, Brandon? All right, we're going to fib out the high low of the day, and we got to stick to the 911 plan now, okay? It's either going to hold, well, you only have two chances. We shy the GP, and it goes flying up for absolutely no reason, Michigan sentiment data on Friday or a Trump tweet, or we finally hit the GP under yesterday's lows. So we are going to look for progression 55540, which is just the top of the 911 candle that we've been talking about. For some odd reason it goes up, great. We'll chart it there. And if not, we're going to watch the weakness overnight, probably drag it back down into some GPs of the 911, and then we're going to have to check it in the morning. We're not going to play too much prediction here, especially when we have knifed straight down. And for my correction, if you watch my past videos on the live, I'm looking for 8 to 12%. I'm an 8 to 12% guy. Now, this low, we talked about it on live, 550. QQQ is, I think, what we did it on too. That's like 450. But from the GP to highs, this is 10%. So we're right in the middle of my favorite 8 to 12% pullback. Any lower than this, you know, let's go into the GP here where we'd go from all-time high to lower GP, 11%. So this is the final area of bounce that I have to look for until I'm just waiting for an absolute reversal of something. We need catalyst, okay? We need catalyst. And there was a lot of interesting Russia news poking its head out today where I started kind of thinking, well, if we do start to see more and more cooperation with the Russia-Ukraine incident where they do kind of backpedal and go for a peaceful resolution, that could be the catalyst that we don't see coming, right? Out of nowhere, we get a Russian war stop and then, you know, slammo. You know, could be the catalyst, could be, right? But until we have confirmation, we don't really care. We're confirmation traders. So if this thing keeps on, the next bounce point I'm going to be looking at, and the last bounce point I called for the downside target before bounce is this. If it goes under this, bro, your guess is as good as mine, my friends. We have to be reactive to the chart. We are day traders. We are day trade scalpers, and we're still rocking those green to green to green days with the scalps. So for these to work out, I'm going to be... Better delete those so it's a little cleaner. I'm going to be hyper focused on this candle still. This is the 3-7 candle. There's no GP tag. If you high low it and point it to the downside, remember we did articulate a 261 right inside the 911 GP, which just solidifies massive support on the bottom. So I will be a buyer as we long here. I will be a put seller if we end up into there tomorrow. And as always in our group, we will be day trading it. So let's keep the spirits high, the positivity rolling. And we did learn something today with a first time ever double paired tick gap left open. Still ended up green, so no big deal here. So if you do want to watch me lay around, watch me live trade this stuff, the link's in the description. We do lots of sentiment trade, put lots of text notes on, and we have biases. And we have lots of talented members in our group. If you want to win a Topstep account, this Saturday, I'm giving away 3. So thank you again for 3,000 plus subscribers. You guys are piling in here. Loving the jam. We are going to give away 3 50K accounts, so $150 worth to anybody that comments on any video this week, Monday through Friday. That's it. All you got to do is leave a simple comment and be subbed. When we do the comment checker, we'll check all that. And make sure to sub, drop a comment, hopefully maybe even a like. And we'll see you on the next YouTube video. Take care, guys. Trade safe.